change your heart, change your life, change the planet.
When you've got a goal that is challenging or confronting or is going to require something way outside of the norm that you're used to, the bigger you present it to yourself, the less likely it is that you're going to engage in it. So if you're having a challenging time, if you have been injured or you're sick or you've lost a job or you just moved or a relationship has changed, some stressor or challenge has happened, and this is the worst time to add additional challenges or confrontations, like, for me, committing to a big race in the future. Like, okay, I've got to do something, something's got to change. Or committing to a raw diet, or committing to a juice fast. Because the body and brain are already under a great deal of stress. And by committing to this big thing that we think is going to shift us into this new place to help us get out of the stress, what ends up happening is it just adds to the stress and tends to break us down even more. And we're not consistent, and because we're not consistent, now we often feel like a failure, which again just adds to the stress. So it's a vicious cycle. And then eventually our illness goes away, our injury heals, we get a new relationship, we're in a new place, and we get some stability. And then gradually, just because things always change, and sometimes they change in a good way, life starts to feel good again, and now we find that we can engage in a new diet or a new path or a new race. And it's just because life is never consistently bad and life is never consistently good. It fluctuates. So in the hard times, we think we need to make the tough choices or the strict choices, but that's actually the worst time to do it because we're already beaten down. And by trying to hold ourselves to a really strict line of conduct, we beat ourselves down even further. So the solution in those times is not to commit to a giant goal. The solution is to be really present to the individual steps that you're taking and allow yourself the space to deal with the discomfort of a single step. So when that comes to running, for me, if I say, all right, I've got to run 100 kilometers in the next 5 days, and on 2 of those days, I've got to run very hard. I'm going to run up a mountain one day very, very hard, and I'm going to run intervals on the track very hard. That's a lot to deal with. That's a big chunk for my brain to sit with if I'm already not feeling good. Okay, 100 kilometers in 5 days and 2 really hard, painful workouts. Whoa, I can't even think about that. But instead, if I simply focus on getting myself dressed to go running, and then I focus on getting myself out the door, and then I deal with the discomfort of taking the first few steps, and then maybe deal with the discomfort of taking another 50 steps, if I can be present to that and I can see, yeah, this is not comfortable, it's not fun, but I'm doing it. And is the discomfort so great that I'm not going to be able to do it for even another minute? No, I think I can handle this discomfort. It's mild discomfort, so I can deal with this. And then before you know it, I find myself completing the workout. And then the next day comes, all right? Same thing, let's get present to taking those steps. And this day is the day that was supposed to be really hard, going up the mountain. Don't worry about the mountain. Don't worry about being in pain. Get your clothes on. Get in the car and drive to the mountain. All right? Take a look around. Look at the trees. Look at the rocks. Look at the trail. Do you hear any birds? Do you see any animals? Just get present. Okay, how are you feeling? All right, I'm okay. So let's just take a few steps and see how we feel. All right, I feel okay. All right, let's start moving a little faster. How do you feel? Well, it's not great, but I think I can do this. And then I just talk myself through the whole thing, and then I'm done. And I check one of those hard days off my list. It's done, because I never had to confront the entire mountain. All I had to confront was the little bit of discomfort in each of the steps. And then before you know it, I've done my 100 kilometers in 5 days, and I've done my 2 very hard workouts, but I never confronted them directly. I never said to myself, you have to do this, and it's going to last for 30 days, and it's going to be strict, The moment you do that, when you're already stressed, is the moment you bury yourself.